What is a marketing calendar? Do you really need it in your business? Isn't that just for big brands only? Hey everyone, I'm Sai Montes, and this is the Sai Montes Show. I'm your online business coach, and I'm here to help you turn your passion into profit. So, for this episode, we are going to talk about everything about the marketing calendar, and probably I can answer questions in your head about it. Do you really need it? Do we really need it? So the Simon Test Show, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast or to the channel on YouTube, wherever you're watching this one. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And if you're new here, the Simon Test Show is about you and I. It's about my story. That is also your story as an entrepreneur, starting a business, growing your business, and everything in between. So, yeah, as I've said, today's episode is dedicated to the marketing calendar. Why? Because I've been struggling with this one for the longest time. I would say, yeah, for the longest time. Because to be honest, as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, I'm the only one in my business right now. I am doing everything in this business. So I am the head of sales, I'm the head of business development, I'm the head of PR, I'm the head of HR, and also I'm the head of the marketing, like everything from planning to execution and the cycle of operations in my business. It's all me, and here and there, sometimes I get help from my staff, from my people, but they're not full time with me yet. um I own Sip and Chug Coffee, if you guys don't know yet. And it's basically my first, I would say, legitimate business, because I've been through step one until whatever step I am right now. And I mean, very involved with this business, and I've registered it and went through mentorship for it and did the packaging, the designing, everything. I don't know, I'm also the graphic designer, the content writer, the copywriter, everything. Everyone that you need in the business, that's me. I'm doing everything in this business. So I'm confident that I have some experience, and something to say and help you out if you're um, thinking about starting a business, or if you already have a business and you're struggling in some areas of your business. So again, going back, the marketing calendar. So why am I struggling with the marketing calendar? It's because I have a marketing degree, and for some reason, because I'm the only one in my business right now, it's a struggle to really, have time and be laser focused on marketing planning, from planning to actually doing it and implementing it. All my ideas, like, I'm bursting with ideas every second of the day, but I just don't have the time yet because I don't have a team, and we'll get to that in the coming episodes of the Simon Test Show. So I don't have a team yet for me to delegate. I've tried to hire people, um, but so far not a success. So for the meantime, I'm trying to do everything. I know for some of you, you would say, well, that's a total waste of time for you. I know. That's why I really plan to get people and do things for me in the future. But I'm taking this stage in my life, in my entrepreneur life, as a learning stage as well. A lot of us actually do business, and just, if you have the resources, that's fine, that's great. You can just easily hire people, um, and do things for you, do the planning and the execution for you. But a lot of times when we give our, 100% of our trust to people, they just end up scarring ourselves. I mean, we develop some trust issues with people. It's because of course they don't know the brand, and they're not as invested as you are in the business, because you are the business owner, you are the entrepreneur, you are the heart and soul behind the business that you have right now. So with the marketing calendar, I want to specifically touch this one in this episode, because um I have been really focused on thinking about planning and actually doing my final marketing calendar for this year. So I have to thank one of my coaches and mentors in this business. Hello to Coach Rommel of The Rest of Coach. You can tune into his Facebook podcast, because you'll really learn a lot. Okay, by the way, I'm sorry, it's hard for me to talk um because of my nasal situation right now, if you've noticed. So anyway, I want to thank Coach Rommel, because he has like really entertained my questions about this one, because he also um did a podcast on this one few episodes ago in the Resto Coach with with another coach, Shari. I think her name is Coach Shari, and they've really like nailed it, like in discussing marketing calendar. But as for me, as I was listening to the podcast, it really made me realize how important it is. And the first time that I heard about this in his podcast um is when I think it was around, I mean, towards the holiday season of last year. And they've mentioned that for you to really execute, I mean, plan and execute your marketing well in your business, you have to plan ahead. And as a marketing practitioner, of course, I know that. But when I had my business, I knew it, but I tend to like not prioritize it. I feel like it's important, yes, but I heavily relied on what I remember. Um, what I mean by that is I just go through my marketing calendar or my marketing efforts for my business on a day to day basis. And what I can say is, if you go that route, it's very tiring. Why? Because you're going to exhaust a lot of your energy into thinking, what am I going to do today, what is going to happen to my business today, how am I going to post today. Everything is about today, without actually having a holistic approach on your marketing. Like, how do you really want to communicate with your customers for the entire year? What do you really want to focus on this year, or this quarter, or this month? And what I realized again, as what we've studied before, um, is that really prioritizing the strategy first. So, what I mean by that is you have to sit down, and this is what I've done since last year. And I've been really I mean, doing the calendar and then changing things up, because I really can't make up my mind. And the way I did it is how I want my business to look like this year, and how am I going to do it, and where am I going to do it, right? So I finally did my marketing calendar, and I have finished it for the entire year. So now I'm really happy because I finally have a blueprint for the entire year on how I will market and how am I going to get sales for the business this year. So um what I did is I first thought of my whys in my business. And you can, get a pen and paper and then write down some notes and some ideas that you might have while listening or watching this podcast episode, because that's what I really did. Um, I started with my whys, and back in my personal coaching program, I always start with the why, and I tell my coachees to start with it as well, because at the end of the day, if you don't know the very essence of why you're here or why your business is here, then we're just, wasting time and effort and resources in doing what we're doing right now, right? So you start with your why. And what is this, I what's the why am I going to ask myself why? So here's what I'm going to tell you. Ask yourself, um your I mean, you have to set your goals um at the beginning of the year usually, right? But don't be too stressed about it. If you feel like it's March or April or June and you feel like it's too late for me to start goals, then I'm telling you, start, because you're not going anywhere if you don't start somewhere, right? So even if it's not January, you can always start on prioritizing what really matters in your business, and this is one of them, right? So you have to set your goals and really use the SMART method. Okay, so it has to be specific. What do you really want to achieve this year? um and why do you want to achieve that? Are you beating a sales goal versus last year? Or if this is your first time doing business or your first year in business, treat every month as a phase for you to gather data. And that's what I did in my business when I started, because I have nothing to compare with. I tried researching online, like on an average, how much sales does as for my business, a coffee shop usually makes. And I have data, but they're not, apples to apples to the business model that I have for my business. So I just treated one whole year as, you know, I'm going to do my marketing like this. And then whatever the result is, it's going to be my basis for the same month the following year, if you get what I mean. So um, ask yourself, what do you want to achieve? What do you want to get? Or where do you want your business to be um, this year or this quarter? And it has to also be measurable. So we have to always think about that, because we don't just, wish. Because wishing is, I want this to be grand, my business should be like this, my business should be the talk of the town, or should be featured in all of the mainstream media in my town or in my country. um that's not gonna happen if you're a first time business owner with no contacts, or with not a lot of money to do that, because you need money to do all of those things. It's possible, yes, but that's why part of setting goals is it has to be realistic, right? I'm jumping to the R of the SMART goals. It has to be realistic. Can you really get this goal done with the resources that you have and M is for measurable. You have to have some sort of gauge or a barometer on how you can measure every campaign. All right. So when I say campaign, it's like a bucket of activities for your business, or a bucket of goal for your business that will support the goal for the year. In advertising, we call it a campaign. A campaign can be for the entire year, or it can be, mini buckets of goals for your business. A campaign can be a monthly thing or a quarterly thing. It's really up to you. But when I say campaign, it's um like a project, like an effort to achieve something, right? So it has to be measurable. You have to um have a way to measure the success of your marketing efforts. Is it going to be through sales? So when you want to increase your sales, if that is your goal, then of course you have to, your measurement will be your sales, your increase in sales, like how many percentage um, was increased when you did this particular activity, or this promo or advertising, right? um, if you want to increase brand awareness, you can probably measure reach, especially if you're doing social ads, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, right? So you have to find a way on how you can measure your marketing efforts. And then A is attainable. Is it really attainable? Is this something in the possible 3D realm of things, right? It has to be attainable. And then R is, it has to be, yeah, realistic. And T is for time bound. It has to have a deadline. um we're not wishing upon a star here. We're setting goals, and goals that we want to achieve. And you cannot set a goal of, say, I want to be a big brand someday. Someday is not a deadline. There is no someday, all right, in the calendar. It has to be March 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, up to the end of the month? Or is it going to be until December 31 of this year? You have to set a deadline. And setting the deadline, my suggestion is for you to like have, it has to be realistic in a way that you are also giving yourself room for your efforts um to actually give you results, right? So say for example, if you want to increase your sales, and you decided to run a Facebook ad, and you just run your ad for, say for example, a week, and you're expecting an increase in your sales for about 20%. You cannot, it's not a smart goal, because it's not realistic for you to run a Facebook ad for only a week with 20% increase in sales, and you're a new player in the market. That's not gonna happen. So you have to give yourself some room to, to set yourself up for success, because the last thing that you want is for you to do things, and make an effort to grow and build your business, and then fail. We don't set goals to fail. We set goals to actually succeed, right? So give yourself, don't be too strict about it. Try to set yourself up for success, and set your business up for success, please. All right. So that's the first part of creating your marketing calendar. So before we go to actually creating it, I want to touch on what is really a marketing calendar. Because because if you try to search, because I've tried to search for this one, um, I tried to search for a marketing calendar template, because I think it's gonna be easier for me to start with a template and then just plug everything in, like all my you know, my magic in it. But I can't find a marketing calendar. And if you're going to do the same, all right, here's my caution for you. If you search for a marketing calendar or a marketing calendar template, most of the results or the results that you're going to get on Google is about, it's not a marketing calendar, it's a social media calendar. All right, it's an editorial calendar, and that's different from a marketing calendar. Okay, marketing is not just about social media. Right, marketing is not just about content, calendars or content marketing. It's really broad because marketing in essence is all everything that will help you get sales, right? So you have to be very careful, and you have to look through it. And my experience is, I didn't find a template that will make my life easier, so I had to make my own marketing calendar, and I'm here to give you some tips on how you can do the same. All right, so before we go to that one, I want to also discuss and touch on why is this important if I haven't yet. So yeah, um, you have to have a marketing calendar. Why? Because as I've said earlier, it's going to be your blueprint for the entire year. Um, when I finished my marketing calendar, there was some sense of relief for me because I finally have something to always refer to, and I know where my business is going because of the marketing calendar that I have. Okay, it's not a social media calendar, it's a marketing calendar. A marketing calendar will include social media, but will also include, if you're going to do emails, if you're going to do events, if you're going to do influencer marketing, right? So it's your and I'm really not the kind of person who loves, seeing executive summary, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I try to make my life as simple as possible. I'm a visual learner, so I try to draw boxes and then do some flow charts or whatever. Whatever works for you, um, you do that. If you're more of a notes person, like a actual sticky notes, you can do that. Because I did that to brainstorm for my my marketing calendar, but digitally. So whatever works for you. So you have to you have to plan ahead and don't pressure yourself on finishing the entire year. um I'm actually proud that by February I finished my Q2, because that's me setting up myself for success. Because as I've said and shared in the previous episode, I have experienced burned out, and as much as I really want to and sit down on things, I just can't. Like, my mind is floating somewhere else. So I know I have to do this marketing calendar, and I know that I can't do it in one sitting or in one focused day of doing it. I just can't at the time. So I set myself up for success, and I told myself, okay, I just need to do my Q2 marketing calendar. After that, I'm good. And to my surprise, as I was doing my Q2 calendar, so that's January, February, March, April, May, and June, I just, saw myself putting things for November, for October, for August, for September, for December, as ideas were flowing in my mind. I have that marketing calendar, and I just plugged in whatever is in my head, and then focusing on Q2, because I have the tendency to, float somewhere else and do something else instead of the thing that I have to do. So um it's just like I started it as a brain dump until I finished my Q2, and then I saw most of my Q3 is done, and some of my Q4 months are already done because of the brain dumping strategy that I did. So if that's another tip for you, if you can do that, if that works for you, then good job, because I know that it will really help you in um like really having a black and white plan on your marketing for this year or probably for next year. Okay. And I really want you to do this because the main goal of marketing is to generate sales. So if you want sales or more sales in your business, then you really have to prioritize this one. Good for you if you have a team. You can just set a meeting, and then all of you can sit down and brainstorm on everyone's ideas on how you want to market your business and your brand this year or probably next year or whatever time frame you want, right? So how do you make your marketing calendar? um because I can't teach you that through a podcast. I want you to just visualize it. Okay, I'm going to give you the key points, like the main takeaways on how you can create your own marketing calendar. So one I gave you is I told you to begin with your goals. So you have to start with that one. You really have to think smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound goals for your business this year. So think about that. That's step one. Step two, what I did is I laid out all the months per quarter. Okay. Um, so I have Q1, January, February, March. Q2 is April, May, and June. Q3 is July, August, September, and Q4 is October, November, December. So, however you want to present that, whatever works for you, you have to have a section for your quarters of the year. You have to divide your quarters per month. And then from there, you're going to think about what are the things that you can do for that quarter, and think about the quarter first. Okay, so what can you do for that quarter? What are the things or tactics that you want to execute for that quarter that will support your business goals? See, step one, the smart goals that you set for yourself, for your business, right? So what are the things, what are the activities that you want to do? Do you want to have a promo? Are you going to do a giveaway? Are you going to um like have a an in-store promotion? Are you going to run Facebook ads? Are you going to run YouTube ads? So think about, those are the tactics, some of the tactics that you can do for that quarter. So the only guide that you need to think about is this: the activities should support your main goal for the year, the first thing that you did, the smart goal that you did um, on step one, right? So always keep that in mind. So you have to make or create activities that will support the entire business goal for the year. So you do that every quarter, and then what you're going to do for quarter one, for quarter two, for Q3, and for Q4. And once you're done with that, so now you have, divided big chunks of your execution per quarter. And now, every quarter, so just get one quarter if you're doing that in a document, or if you're doodling it, or if you're doing it on Excel or spreadsheet. So take that quarter and then divide that one big chunk of effort into three, because one quarter has 3 months, right? So say for example for Q2, we have April, May, and June. So you have to think about what are you going to do on April, May, and June to support the quarterly goal that you've set yourself for your business or for your brand. So that's how easy it is to create a marketing calendar. I hope I've simplified it well enough for you to actually make it. Because sometimes when we research something, we go down the rabbit hole and then we get so overwhelmed, and our brain just decides to shut off and shut down and actually don't want to do it anymore, right? That's why it's a practice. It's my practice to act, to always simplify things, because it just doesn't work for me like that. So if you're like me, then hello, welcome to the club. This is how you do your marketing calendar. And then from there, since you have the monthly, right? The monthly um activities, the main activities that you're going to do for the month to support your quarterly goal, then that's the time that you can, I'm giving you the permission to think about a social media calendar, okay? Because this is the time, in my opinion, that you can easily break down whatever posts you want to do or to create to support your monthly goal or monthly activity. So that way, it's not that overwhelming, and it will feel like, I promise you, it will feel like, easy peasy when you do it this way. So as a recap, so first, to create your marketing calendar, you have to think about your goal for the year, and then break down those goals or that goal into four, which will be your quarterly goals. And from every quarterly goal or goals that you're going to have, you're going to break it down 3 times. So now you have your monthly goal or monthly activities or tactics that you need for your business or brand. And then from there, then it's now time, and it's going to be way easier for you to create a social media calendar. Okay. Now, previously, I have a template free for you to easily have a social media calendar, but I'm going through a reconstruction of my site and all the freebies that I'm giving away previously. So watch out for that one. But if ever that is available, you can always check the resource box or the description box down below. I'm gonna link it down there. And if that's not there yet, don't forget to visit my site, saimontes.com. And then soon enough, you're going to see some resources there for you. Or you can find this podcast episode and video podcast episode on my site as well. And that's where that's where you can actually view the new social media calendar that I am gonna give away, of course, give to you for free, to help you out, of course. So that way our lives will be easier, because templates are our besties. Oh my god, it's hard for me to talk right now. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you guys found something valuable, and I hope that through this podcast, you can simply create your marketing calendar, because it's really important. Okay, you have to have a marketing calendar, especially for startups and solopreneurs out there like myself, because we tend to neglect this part, right? And we feel like we can just, do it in one swish like that. But no, it's going to be hard for you to think about your marketing efforts on a day-to-day basis. So by doing this, it's going to it's going to guide you, and it's going to, keep all the ideas flowing for your business. So I hope this episode helps you, and if you like it, and if this episode served you well, don't forget to like if you're watching on YouTube, and to follow my podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Just search for the Sai Montes Show and follow me on my social media accounts. Although, yes, admittedly, I'm not as active, but just follow me, because I might, have some team soon, and they're gonna help me out with this. So yeah, looking forward to that one. So anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching the Simon Test Show, and I hope you found value out of this. And if you did, don't forget to share this with your entrepreneur friends or negosyante babes out there. All right. So thank you guys. Again, this is Simon Test. I am your online coach, and I am signing off for today's episode. Bye guys. Have a great day.